There's a concept that I've been hearing about for the last couple of years. It has been around for many, many generations and eras, and apparently it's dying now. It's people have been saying it's on Lifeline, it's on life support. It is rarely seen, and when they do see it, they scream out in joy and they say, "Oh my God, you're a dying race." What is this concept? It's called chivalry. The reason that I bring this up is because, yeah, people do say that it's dying, and I'm here to talk about what has happened. So, the question that I'm going to try to answer today is Is chivalry dead in our generation, or has it just evolved? I'm going to talk to you about chivalry. I'll go through the definition. I will go through how it's viewed in the eyes of men and women, and in a more social perspective. And I will also talk about what I believe chivalry in quotations, I believe has happened to it, and I'll ultimately answer the question. So, what is chivalry? Chivalry is a combination of qualities expected of an ideal knight, especially courage, honor, courtesy, justice, and a readiness to help the weak. So this definition and this word came about during the medieval era where knights were expected to help people and help the weak just as any person would do now. But since the eras have changed, it has ended up being something that men do for women. They normally pull out chairs, open doors, put their jackets onto puddles so women can walk over it. But that doesn't happen anymore. Why? Why does that not happen anymore? I'm going to talk about chivalry in a social perspective, most likely the dating game. What does it mean to be chivalrous when you're on a date? In my personal experience, when I take a lady on a date, it's normally to a nice restaurant. I do hold the door open. I pull out the chair, but that's not because of being chivalrous. It's being a human being. That's just what I have been taught to do. It's not being chivalrous. It's being, I guess, courteous. And this is where quotations in chivalrous actually comes to be. I've learned in my experiences that this is something that you do. I'm not doing this to get the girl's number or get her to like me. But this is something that people don't do anymore. Mostly men. They don't do this anymore. They try to get a girl's number. They don't take girls on dates. They try to get a girl's number and they just try to get down, plain and simple. Saying hi to someone in the hallway, or in like a hallway in a school, or even just around your neighborhood walking down the sidewalk. I don't see this ever. This is more of a this is more something that someone would do that is older than you. Whenever I walk down a sidewalk, even trying to get to school or just in my own neighborhood, mostly it's an older generation that would smile or wave or ask you how you're doing while they walk by. If you try to do that on any university property or near their off-campus, people normally just have headphones in, or they look down, or they pretend they're texting and just walk right by you. It's something that just doesn't happen anymore. Paying for something that doesn't belong to you. Yes, this still happens. This happens. Men, when they take girls on dates, again, another social perspective, or when they're hanging out with a girl that they're interested in, they will pay. But are they doing it because they're being chivalrous, or are they doing it for other reasons? I've had an experience back when I used to work at Buck or Two. It was just like a dollar store kind of thing, so marketing. A lady came in with her daughter. She had $26 worth of stuff, which is a lot of stuff at a dollar store, and she couldn't find her debit card. So I told her, "Hey, I'll pay for it." I don't. She's has a daughter. She's obviously a mom. There's no chivalrous anything going on here. I just thought I'll be a human being and pay for what she needs. She should worry about trying to find her debit card just in case someone finds it and they try to take money out of her bank account. Simple. She told me that chivalry isn't dead and that I'm a dying race. I just didn't say anything because I don't think that I did it for any chivalrous actions. She's told me that she is going to pay me back tomorrow. She will come back the next day, but little does she know that that was my last day at work. So it's just something that I wanted to put out there. It's not. Sometimes people do it for a chivalrous reason, but others more of a, well, they don't. Now, I want to talk about our generation and if chivalry has actually died or has it evolved. I feel like chivalry has evolved. It has evolved into being more courtesy and courteous than chivalrous because chivalry now in our modern era may be perceived as being sexist. Holding the door for someone, like a lady, she might be offended. There is a man by the name of Scott Farrell. He is the director of the Chivalry Today education program, and he says that chivalry is not an act of courtesy or deference, but or the result of condescending attitude. Chivalry is respect and mutual admiration which such an act conveys. So it has actually evolved, I believe. But why has it evolved? Why is it not what it used to be? I believe that social media has a reason for this. Also, just our generation has changed. We don't believe that we need to do the things that our parents and grandparents have done. People have, social media mainly has changed the way that people see chivalry. Back a few generations, you were allowed to take flowers and chocolate to your someone that you were interested in because it was seen as chivalrous and a good gesture. Now it is seen more as creepy or stalkerish or too clingy. Stuff like that. That's just one example of how chivalry has somewhat changed. So now, lastly, what I want to talk about is how chivalry can be used in an industry. Um, Thinking of chivalry as being more courteous than being chivalrous is a way that you can implement different areas, that you can use this in different areas of an industry. Holding the elevator open for someone, for example. If you're in a business kind of perspective, if you're looking at a business perspective, holding the door for a future client or an employee can be deemed as chivalrous or courteous. Chivalrous can be used a lot in the hospitality industry. For example, a restaurant or a dining room. Holding a door or pulling out a chair for a client or a customer builds trust, and it builds a sense of comfort within the society and potentially can bring back customers. So, in conclusion, chivalry has not died, it has just merely evolved. There is now chivalry, courtesy, and hospitality. Chivalry and courtesy are more used in a social perspective for men and women, since chivalry was used in medieval times because women were perceived as weak and fragile. With femininity coming to a rise and feminism and women having the same leadership roles as men, it is being used for both parties to just be nice and courteous to one another, which is where it should be. And hospitality is used in the industry to bring trust and care with your clients and employees, which can also bring in future employees. So that is my talk on chivalry. I apologize that I don't have more time to talk about this. There are a lot more ideas that are um, that I just could not put into the time frame that I had. But I really hope you enjoyed this TED Talk, and I would like you to be courteous to everyone you see and let this movement keep happening, because a lot of people these days believe that chivalry it is dying, and this can also in turn bring courtesy to die as well, because chivalry is courtesy in a way, and without courtesy surviving, chivalry and courtesy will both will die. Thank you.